Hello, I'm Martin Dorey and you are watching Adorama TV. Welcome to this, the third in my series about extreme photography. Today I'm here on the beach in Bude in North Cornwall, UK to meet Clive Symm. Now, he's a pro photographer and a surfing photographer with more than 20 years under his belt of shooting the beaches and surfers around North Cornwall in the UK. It looks nice today, but I tell you, it isn't California here. In the winter, it can get really brutal. So I'm going to talk to Clive about how he gets the shots he does and the kind of hardships that he has to endure to get some of his lovely moments, including the odd personal injury. Okay, hi Clive, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, first of all, tell me about that shot with Nathan, because it's clearly taken on quite a serious day when there's a lot of stuff going on, and it must have been quite difficult.
With that shot of Nathan, the day was ridiculously stormy. You can see by the waves in the background and the waves smashing up the cliff face, it was crazy. It was showery, it was windy, it was horrible, and I can't believe we went in the water. The location for that shot, it's North Cornwall. I can't say where because it's a secret spot and the local surfers will get upset with me if I told you. But it's an awfully long walk from where I parked the car to get there, over very, very rough terrain. As I say, the weather was horrendous. My kit's weatherproof, but I'm not. It was freezing cold, it was the middle of the winter. To get that particular angle, I had to get almost level with the sea, and you've got those big waves coming in, so you've got to watch out what's going on there. You've got salty spray all over everything. And I was on the beach for probably about 4 hours to get that shot. Probably took about 600 or 700 photos to get that one. So it's quite an effort.
600 or 700 photos to get one shot.
Yeah.
And of course it could have ended up with nothing, but I guess that's the risk you take, isn't it?
Every time you go surf photography, you've got to have the right surfer on the right wave with the right conditions basically.
Now tell me about, because Nathan calls you, doesn't he, to tell you he's off on a surf session. Tell me about how that works.
Well, there's quite a few local surfers I've been doing this a long time that I know quite well, and they'll give me a shout saying, "Oh, you're about? I'm going surfing here, there, or whatever." If you're a decent surfer and you're looking for sponsorship, the sponsors want good quality photographs. Without those, they won't even look at you. So the guys that are switched on get in touch, say, "I'm going here, the conditions are great," and I go along and take them and sell the photos to the sponsors.
So so you'll be going out. There's no guarantee you're going to sell those shots, but you're going out with this relationship with these surfers in the hope that something's going to happen. Tell me about the kind of personal sort of injuries that you've had getting shot.
You've heard about that. It was a similar day to Nathan's shot. It's the same place actually. Sorry. I had a call from an inflatable surfboard manufacturer saying, "Can you take a photograph of some shots of one of our guys?" So yeah, no problem. Go down there, the sun's shining. I walk along this beach, it's very rocky, similar to what we got here today, but bigger boulders. I step on one, it moves, the rock tilts, my foot slips off it, crack. I look down at the sole of my foot thinking, not too clever. And I ended up having two surfers, one under each arm, taking an hour and 3/4 to get off the beach to get to the hospital with a broken ankle.
Did you get the shot?
I got a couple, but what's really, really funny, then Monday morning, they launched a new surfboard, different colour, so the shots were useless anyway.
But that's just
That's all part of the fun.
You've had some magazine covers.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you had to go through to get those.
With the magazines, it's basically having the best shot they get submitted on a month, the one that fits any advertising they've got in the magazine. I've not had loads, but I've had a few. I've had Pit Pilot, was a few years back, and Wavelength as well. I've won competitions for surf photos. Magic Seaweed run a Best of British Summer photo, and I won with that one.
In terms of the extreme conditions that you have to go through, I mean, is your kit suffer for that?
Yeah, you could say that. The air's very salty. These things are supposed to be weatherproofed. Stainless steel screws on that lens are rusting. It's just exposed all the time to the salt air. My tripod's less than a year old. It's corroding already. It's carbon fibre and magnesium, and the magnesium's corroding on it. And it's just that's it. It's a cost you've got to bear.
So it's just one of the things about going out in these extreme conditions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, tell me about going out and shooting from boats.
Going out and shooting from boats is a whole different kettle of fish. I have what I call a marine bag, which this big lens won't fit into it, but I sit with it in a bag, and I go on a jet ski normally, and I shoot some pretty extreme waves from the back of jet skis. it's exciting, but it's difficult and it's dangerous and it could be very expensive if I dropped anything overboard.
Okay, so everything's enclosed in a wet bag,
Yeah.
but it doesn't necessarily float.
I've tried it and it doesn't float. So
Okay.
it's strapped to me quite tightly.
And you're strapped to the jet ski?
No, you sit on the jet ski and you hang on to the jet ski. Where I've done it in the past, there's 2 jet skis, one to tow the surfer into these extreme waves, and I'm driving the other one, driving the ski and trying to get the photographs at the same time, which isn't easy with a heavy camera strapped to you.
But you also need to put yourself in that extreme position right underneath the wave, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, extreme positions. The first time I went to this particular wave I'm thinking of, I was in a little rib that one of the extreme surfers had bought off eBay. Tiny little seagull engine on the back of it, put job. Breaks down about 50 yards away from this quite serious wave, and there's a rip basically pulling me around back towards the wave. So I wave to the guys, the boat's broken basically. They come and say, oh, you'll be all right. If you get too close, we'll come and get you. And it's just like, yeah, if this sort of thing happens, as we say, it's you put yourself in the line of fire, if you like, to get the shot. I did get the shot that day, but I might not have done in that same position.
And that's the shot of the beautiful
Yeah.
sun glinting through the back of
Yeah.
that wave. So that wave, that shot looks beautiful. I mean, it's clearly violent,
Yeah.
but then there's obviously a whole thing going on behind the lens, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, things that go on behind the lens, you start by, obviously you've got to plan the trip because you've got 2 jet skis involved. You've got to actually get to the dock to launch the things. You've got to have all your kit ready. You've got to be, everything's got to be absolutely spot on. Because if you get out there and your bag misses up because you didn't warm it before you put your camera in it, it's a waste of a trip and it costs a small fortune. So everything's got to be prepared. Everything's got to be absolutely spot on. Otherwise, you can be wasting yours and the other guy's time.
Tell me about the kind of worst experiences you've ever had getting the shot.
The worst experiences tend to be when the weather's bad, when I'm freezing cold, so cold that I can't talk because my jaw muscles don't work, my gloves have got wet and then they've frozen, I can't feel my feet, I get back to the car and I can't actually press the button on the key fob to get into the car. That's pretty nasty, to be honest. But again, it happens. It's North Cornwall. You don't get perfect Californian sun every day, do you? So,
No, and I would say that's probably quite extreme.
Yeah, that is extreme.
Thanks for joining me on Adorama TV today. Next time, we'll be looking into Clive's kit bag and talking about that big lens that he uses to capture some of those amazing shots. In the meantime, don't forget to go to the Adorama Learning Centre for more great hints and tips. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to Adorama TV for more great videos. Finally, please like, comment or share this video. And if you want to know anything, just get in touch.